Good evening, everyone. I want to clear one thing up right off the bat. For those of you who have been asking, no, I am not a hoop shoot finalist, even though a lot of them are taller than me. And I'm looking at you, Matthew Morris. Where are you at? We just did a back-to-back, and he's clearly about 3 to 4 inches taller than me, and I'm not happy about it. I'm a miniature person, a man boy, a grown little man, whatever you want to call it. I know I'm short. Talk it up. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I do get frustrated sometimes. It's not easy looking this young, trying to be an adult. I go and I speak at schools. The teachers try to throw me in detention. I show them my ID. They still don't believe me. Hashtag short people problems. But I want to let you guys know that I like to think I'm pretty honest with myself. I know. I really do know I'm not the manliest dude out there. But if one more telemarketer hears my voice and calls me Mrs. LeBeau and asks to speak to my husband, I'm going to lose my mind. Now that I got that off my chest, it didn't really have anything to do with the hoop shoot. Just wanted to get that out there. I just wanted to let you guys know what a pleasure it's been for me to be able to spend the last couple days with you guys. I've got to meet a lot of you, see you compete and be in action, and learn a little bit about your backstories. It's been truly inspirational and motivating to me, so I want to thank all of you guys for letting me hang out. You guys have all made it so far, and it's such an accomplishment. There are so many people who would give anything to be in your position, and I can say that firsthand because I'm one of those people. With that being said, if any of you don't want to haul your trophies all the way back home with you, I will be willing to take them off your hands. I'm going to be back in this room over here after this, and I left plenty of room in my luggage, and I will be accepting any and all trophy donations. So feel free to stop by. After today, some of you guys will get to have your name in the Basketball Hall of Fame. What a dream. That would be my dream come true. You're going to have your name in there with people like Pistol Pete Maravich, Magic Johnson, and even Michael Jordan himself. Such an amazing accomplishment. You guys should all be so proud of yourselves. I want to congratulate each and every one of you for making it this far. And if we could give all of our contestants one more round of applause, I'd appreciate it. Now, when you guys look back at this weekend, I hope you'll realize it was more than just a fun trip and a free throw contest. Now, don't get me wrong, sports are great. I love them. I spent my whole life playing them. But if you're missing the life lessons that sports are meant to teach us, then you're completely missing the point. I spent a lot of time, and I have some experience with the Elks hoop shoot myself. But if you'd let it, I can tell you from firsthand experience that learning these lessons and this weekend could completely change the course of your life, as it did mine. Let me explain. I grew up on a little island in Alaska called Pennock Island. On Pennock, there's no roads, there's no stores, there's no cars. Just to get to school, I'd have to take our little family boat to town. And town consisted of one road going left, one road going right, and a fence on either end of the road. You were trapped there. We had 4 stoplights and a Walmart. Yes, in case you were wondering, Walmart is everywhere. In Alaska, some of you may know this, but we get a lot of snow, but it's also dark like all the time. So it was dark and it rained 13 feet a year in my hometown. So there wasn't always a lot to do, and because of those factors, there was a lot of depression, alcohol, and drug abuse. And there wasn't really a lot of opportunity. And I decided at an early age that I wanted to be a basketball player, probably like a lot of you guys in this room. There was only one problem, and I'm sure you guys have figured it out by now. I was born with the body of a chess player. My nicknames growing up were Baby J and Jimmy Neutron. Not the most intimidating of nicknames. I could have literally chose any other sport, baseball, soccer, dominoes, and they all would have been better choices for me. But the day I decided that I wanted to be a basketball player was the day I became an underdog, and I've been one every day since. Every time I stepped onto the court, I went up against bigger, stronger, and faster players. My life became a constant cycle of people telling me what I could do and what I couldn't do, and that I wasn't big enough, I wasn't strong enough, I would never have the ability to be a basketball player. I remember in the 7th grade, at lunch, we would go and we would shoot hoops, and the ball went off the rim and it came in my direction, and I went and I jumped up to get the rebound. But what I didn't realize was behind me was Storm and Norman. And what you should know about Storm and Norman is he was a very experienced 8th grader. This wasn't his first time in the grade, if you catch my drift. He was a complete man boy. He was 6'2", 205 pounds, had a mustache and a wife and kid at home. Needless to say, he wasn't your average junior hire. So he came up behind me. He didn't even have to jump. He just snatched it away from me. And I was just startled to have this man boy next to me, so I jumped back. And at that moment, we locked eyes. And I'll never forget what he told me. I looked up at him, and he looked down at me, and he said, "What are you going to be when you grow up? A pony rider?" And first I was just startled because he was so big. I had no idea what that meant. And then about 10 seconds later, I realized Storm and Norman was saying I was so little that when I grew up, I wasn't even going to be big enough to be a horse jockey, who are some of the smallest people in the world, but I was going to have to ride ponies. How many of you guys have been told you can't do something? Did you believe it? Maybe you don't feel like you're big enough, or you're strong enough, or you're smart enough, or you're good enough looking, or your family comes from the right area, or that dream is just too risky to chase, or people couldn't forgive you for things that happened in your past. The day Storm and Norman told me that I was going to be a pony rider, I had two choices. I could get bitter, or I could get better. I could get bitter, and I could blame everything around me. The fact that I lived on a little island, that I had a Jimmy Neutron body type, that people told me I wasn't good enough. Or I could get better, and I could throw all those excuses away, and I could take responsibility for my life and say, I'm going to create the life that I want to live, no matter what anybody tells me. And it was at that moment that I learned the biggest lesson I've learned to this day, and that's attitude is everything. There's one thing I can say with full certainty, is that your attitude will dictate whether you are successful or not in life. If you take one thing away today, take this. Your own attitude is going to dictate your entire life, and the biggest obstacle that you will ever have to overcome is yourself. And the beautiful thing about having a great attitude is you get to choose it every day, and it's going to decide whether you are a winner or a loser. No one else can decide what your attitude will be in any given situation. It's up to you. I promise you guys, if you are the master of your own attitude, you will literally live such a more happy and successful life, I promise you. Despite what Storm and Norman told me that day, I decided I was going to get better, and I was going to be the best basketball player I could be. I would get up at 5 o'clock every morning. I would take my boat across the town and dock it on the other side in the dark. I would walk to school, and the janitor would open up the gym for me. I would practice drills for hours and hours every single day. I had a little Michael Jordan basketball, and I would dribble it around with me everywhere I went. I drove my parents crazy, in the house, to school, at the movie theater. And I watched the Pistol Pete Maravich movie. If none of you have seen that, you need to go see The Pistol. It's a great movie. You guys have seen it? You like it? Good. And I saw that he dribbled outside the car window when his dad was driving the car. So I had my dad drive the car, and I would go out the window. And I lost it a lot of times, and we were by the water and it went in the ocean. But it worked out. I went so far that I would even sleep with my basketball. Let the record show I didn't have a lot of girlfriends growing up. You can ask my mom. She's right over here. Everybody say, "Hi, Mama LeBeau." Thank you. Not long after my experience with Storm and Norman, my parents enrolled me in the Elks hoop shoot contest. Now, despite being the smallest kid in my age group and having to jump just to get the ball to the rim because I wasn't strong enough, I managed to make enough shots to win for Alaska and go to the regions. We had a month to prepare, and my dad and I, probably like a lot of you guys, shot a lot of free throws. We shot 10,000 in 1 month. When the big day came, I was ready. I got out there, was confident, I knew I'd practiced and paid my dues, and I started going. I hit 1, 2, and by 7 in a row, all swishes, I knew I wasn't going to miss. I was in the zone, and I was feeling it. And then something happened. I shot the 8th one, and the ref didn't pass me back the ball. He walked over to the scores table, and he said loud enough for everybody in the gym to hear, "It doesn't count." He landed on the line. My jumping technique, because I wasn't strong enough, ended up being my downfall. And I lost by 1 shot that day. 1 shot that I actually made, but it didn't count because I landed on the line. Again, I had 2 choices. I could get bitter or I could get better. And on that day, I chose to get better. And that decision has made all the difference in my life. Fast forwarding, my decision to get better has opened up doors that I would never have dreamed would get to open for me. I've gotten to do such cool things, I still can't believe it. I've traveled all over the world and played street ball professionally on national TV. I got to be teammates with my idol growing up, Allen Iverson. I got to do a really cool movie called Thunderstruck with NBA superstar Kevin Durant. I've been in all kinds of national commercials with people like Kobe Bryant, Rajon Rondo, Blake Griffin, Charles Barkley, Kevin Hart, Heidi Klum. That was a fun day. For those of you who don't know who Heidi Klum is, she's a supermodel. She's pretty fun to look at. I have a show coming out on Fox that highlights my celebrity youth program next week that I'm stoked about. I have a book that just came out. All these amazing, amazing things, getting to spend time around celebrities and pro athletes that are some of the biggest names on the planet. And I even get to call some of them my friends. Now, it's really cool that I get paid to travel around and speak for a living. I literally get paid to run my mouth. And I'm looking at some of these faces over here, and I know what you're thinking. I'd pay you to shut up. Well, I have the mic and you don't. But I don't come up here today, you guys, to try to impress you. I come up here to share my story because I'm the last person who should be getting to do any of these things. I grew up on a little island with no roads or stores. People don't leave to do these things. I have the opposite body type of what a basketball player is supposed to be. But I worked hard and I chased my dreams. I struggle with all the same things that you guys struggle with, if not more. I probably had a lot more potential than many of you to be average. But like I said, I took action, I set goals, I worked hard, and most importantly, I decided to have a good attitude and take ownership for my life. What is it that's stopping you guys from achieving your dreams? Because if I would have listened to Storm and Norman that day, I wouldn't have got to do any of these things I just told you about. And I'd probably be riding ponies somewhere. Real quick, if you guys like my message and you want to help me share it, we're going to have a camera in the back. I'm going to be in this room. And I'm primarily talking to the adults in the room, but this is cool for the young people as well. If you want to do a quick video testimonial, it helps me tremendously, and I appreciate it. I'll be back there as well if you want to come talk to me. I could sign your trading cards. You could sell them on eBay for 13 cents. Get rich. One last thing, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Does anybody in here like free gifts? Well, that's the most excited you guys have been all day. Well, I have something for you guys. I have an ebook called What Allen Iverson Taught Me About Life. If you guys pull out your phones and hold them up right now, say phone. I want you guys to text the word GIANTS, GIANTS, to the number 58885. I'll say it one more time, and it's also in the bulletin that was going around if you didn't get it, or you can ask me later. It's GIANTS, you guys know how to spell it, 58885. You'll get a text back saying you agree to get the gift, and it'll ask you for your email. Pop your email in there. I'm going to send you that, and then I'm also going to send you a surprise bonus gift that I'm really excited to share with you guys. With that being said, I want to leave you guys the 2 smartest things I know. And the first one's going to sting a little bit. Mr. Rogers lied to you. Yeah, he did. He lied when he said dreams come true. Dreams don't come true. Goals do. Write goals and take action. Number 2, the biggest obstacle you'll ever have to overcome is yourself. Remember that. If you do this, you might just find that getting your name in the Basketball Hall of Fame isn't your biggest accomplishment when it's all said and done. Thank you guys. Attitude is everything.